Welcome everybody to Mike's Minute for this week. It's week 50, week 14 recap, right?
15.
Week
Yeah.
15 recap. Sorry about
Yeah,
that.
we just
Yeah, there's
completed
been three
week
weeks of the
15.
season.
So, yeah.
Yeah, three more weeks after this of the regular season. Then we get in the playoffs. And Mike, by the way, Mike has a playoff pool as well. So get ready for that. We're going to do that. Mike, we're joined by our special guest this morning, Mark Cosenzo. We're so happy to have Mark on. And Mike, give us a recap of this another crazy week in the NFL.
Again, the roller coaster keeps going, and it was a wild one. But anyways, the in the weekly standings, Steven Breezeland blew the doors off of everybody with a 134 score. After him was Simon Desjardins at 148, Jamie Ferdinand from Australia at 151, and Stephen Aerosmith at 152. So congratulations to the four of them. In terms of the overall standings, back on top is Mike Russell at
Oh, good, Mike.
2081. Jerry Boulay only 4 points behind at 2085. Richard Pomerleau has really been climbing the standings, and he's at 2092. He had another good week. And then we have Mike Curry in the top four at 2104. So, yeah, and with 3 weeks to go, nothing is guaranteed by any means. So it was a good weekend for everybody.
So it was interesting this week, for the first time, the teams that were heavily favored won big. Philadelphia won big.
Yeah.
The numbers were, if you bet along the line like 3 points, 7 points, and you didn't bet 12, 13, 14 points for those big games, you were going to lose ground. There was a few upsets, definitely a few upsets, but for the most part, the big winners won big. The surprise, of course, well, the great game of the week was Buffalo, New England. Came down to the last few minutes. I took New England thinking, okay, this is their time. It's not.
Not yet,
so,
but they're coming.
so anyway, listen, we've got some big games. And Mark, I'm going to have you comment on. Let me just get it up here. Where are we? NFL. There you go. Look, the first game of the week, and I was shocked when I saw this. The first game of the week, Los Angeles and Seattle. It's probably going to be the NFC, one of the NFC major battles for the playoffs, maybe for the title, because I think the winner of that playoff game between LA and Seattle might go to the Super Bowl. They're playing this week in Seattle, and I was shocked to see Seattle's favored by 1.5. Mark Cosenzo, what have you got in that game? Who do you think is going to win that one?
Well, first, I'd like to mention that I don't like that game because my 49ers, whoever wins, one of those two teams is going to win, and one of those two teams will be further ahead of the 49ers. So
So
if they
they're
were
all in the
both
same
playing other
division, eh?
teams and they
LA,
both lost.
Seattle, the 49ers, they're all in the same division.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was hoping that they'd play separate teams and both lose. But yeah, in my mind, having watched Seattle this week, I like Sam Darnold, but I just think LA is a more complete team, all things considered. So I would be picking LA this week for sure.
Yeah. What do you think? Close game, 3 points?
Um, I would say maybe yeah, maybe four. I'd say I kind of want to go bigger, but maybe by four.
Okay. What do you got, Mike?
Well, I'm going with the Rams on that one, and at 3 points. I think it's going to be a real close game. Seattle didn't impress much against the Colts last week, so yeah, I'll stick with the Rams on that one.
Good point. Good point. They did not. And the Colts defense really got after Darnold. And I think the Rams defense is going to do the same. I agree. I think LA is going to win. I hope they do because I've got Stafford in my fantasy pool and I'm in the semifinals for our fantasy league. So I hope he has a good week. Another great game. Green Bay, Washington. This is for probably the division lead there. Green Bay, even though they're playing in, oh, sorry, Green Bay, Chicago. Even though they're playing in Chicago, Green Bay's favored by 1.5. Mark, who have you got in that one?
I think Drew Love is a better quarterback than that Williams guy, frankly, for Chicago. But they lost Micah Parsons, and I don't know whether they're going to be able to stop the Chicago run game. I think Chicago is going to run like crazy against Green Bay, so I'm going to have to pick Chicago by about 2.
That's a good point. I forgot about me, Micah Parsons out for the year. That could change the whole tenor in Green Bay, right?
Yep.
Yeah. What do you got, Mike?
Well, yeah, it's going to be a good game. The thing I took a look at was the how they did within their own division, and the Packers were 4-0, whereas the Bears were 1-3. So makes me wonder. But I think Mark is right with the run game, and without Parka, I think it was the
Parsons.
defense guy
Yeah.
for Packers, Mika. Yeah, it's going to be a very close game. And I had picked the Packers last week against the Broncos, and that didn't help out. So I may stick with the Bears by 3 on this one as well.
I
So
agree with that. I think you're right. The Bears, when they're running the ball, are very powerful. Uh, you know, Caleb Williams got the same problem as Tua. I mean, he can't throw. He can't throw the big in big games, and he's got to prove that to me anyway. But they sure can run the ball. And that game, by the way, is on Saturday.
yeah.
Both of these two games are on Saturday. So remember, when you need the picks for them, you need them on before
Yeah,
Saturday.
yeah. For Thursday, I need to have it obviously before the kickoff, and on Saturday, I need both picks before the first kickoff on the first game. So
Okay.
yeah,
Just remember that, folks, when you're making your picks. Here's a good game. Interesting. The Chargers in Dallas. Dallas is favored by 1.5, which I was shocked at. Um, uh, I think the Chargers are better than Dallas. I don't know, but Mark, what do you got?
Well, yeah. Every time I pick Dallas, they seem to lose. And every time I pick against Dallas, they seem to win. So I don't know who's going to show up.
You know, oh, I hear you, Mark.
I would say the Chargers. Dallas about 3 weeks ago, can't remember who they were playing, but their defense looked unbelievable. And they were talking about how they traded for guys and guys came back, and their defense is totally different than the beginning of the year. And they looked phenomenal. And now since that game, they haven't looked phenomenal. So I would go with the Chargers by about 4, maybe.
Okay, Chargers by 4. I agree. I think that's a good pick.
yeah. The Chargers sitting at 10-4 overall for the year type thing, and they are playing well. The Cowboys have been up and down. You think, like Mark says, you think they're going to win. Like last week, they're supposed to be strong at home, so I picked them over the Vikings, who hadn't been doing much, and they lose that game. So yeah, I'll go with the Chargers probably by 5 on that one.
Well, I agree with both of you on that one. I think the Chargers are going to win, which, by the way, if I say the Chargers are going to win, you should bet against that because I always pick the losers. I'm going to tell you right now, I pick every loser. I even told Mike this week, I'm going to sell my picks for $1 to all of you. You just give me $17 at the beginning of the year. You're guaranteed to win. Just pick the opposite of what I pick because I cannot pick a winner here. Okay, listen, down here in St. Petersburg, this is a big game. Tampa Bay, Carolina. Winner gets first place. Losers out of the playoffs. I think they play. They just played. Carolina beat Tampa in Tampa, and now they're going to Carolina. Tampa's favored by 3, but I'll tell you, nobody's confident of that pick. It's going to be a close one. What do you got?
Well, this week is affected my overall assessment because I was shocked that the Panthers actually lost
Yeah.
this week, and I was thinking that it was Tampa Bay that was sort of on the downslope. But then Carolina goes up and loses to New Orleans, and I'm like, okay, now I don't really know. I like Baker Mayfield, Um, but I'm not sure. I mean, Tampa had control of the division for quite some
Yeah,
time during the last 4 weeks ago. They were like a shoe in, and then they played so poorly in clutch games that I don't know I don't know. And Carolina, sometimes the defense looks really, really good, and yet they lose to New Orleans.
yeah,
I'm gonna go with Carolina by 2. I like Baker Mayfield, but I'm gonna go with Carolina by 2 simply because I think even though they lost to New Orleans, they only let New Orleans score 20 points.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
and so it wasn't like New Orleans was a dynamo against their defense. They have a good defense, Carolina. So maybe in my mind they'll be able to handle um, Baker Mayfield this week. And probably what'll happen is I'll be completely wrong, and Mayfield will have the best game of the year. But Carolina by 2.
Okay, big gap. That's a bold bet. They're playing at home, so that's a good always a good thing. Mike, what do you got for that one?
Yeah, again one of those very tough ones. They're both sitting at 7-7. They both had their struggles, but at the start of the season, as Mark was saying, the Bucks were rolling along there and looking extremely strong, but they were winning sort of in the last few minutes of the game all the time. Scrambling, getting it done, and now that doesn't seem to be working for them. But I think they still have it in them, so I'm gonna go with the Bucks by 3 on that one. So.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mike. Mike Evans is back for Tampa Bay. That was a huge insert for them. I'd do or die for Tampa right now because really the loser of this division, if you can't finish second and make the playoffs, you got to win the division. In
Yeah.
fact, people are upset that the winner of this division is actually going to be in the playoffs because their records are so poor. But down here, they're as confused as you are, Mark. Nobody knows what happened to Tampa. They uh, don't know why they're losing. And but I think this one is a rebound game. It's certainly a statement game for Carolina if they win, because nothing was expected of them at the beginning of the year. They were expected to pick first in the draft next year, and they've come back. So it's a tough one to pick. But I think Tampa is do or die for them, and I think it's going to be Tampa by 3. I think the line is right. Another great game. Now listen, who is Jacksonville? Jacksonville's playing Denver. Big game in Denver.
Yeah.
And Mark, you mentioned it earlier. Every time you picked Dallas, they lost, and every time you didn't pick Dallas, they won. That's my experience with Jacksonville. They've looked fantastic. They look like AFC finalists right now, um, week after week after week. This will be a big test for them because Denver right now is also a very tough team, especially playing at Mile High Stadium. Um, I honestly, they got Denver by 3 here. What do you think, Mark?
Well, I'm have not been a big Bo Nix fan, John, but I have to say every time I'm watching him, I'm thinking he's getting better and better. I can't, I grudgingly say that, but he seems to be playing better and better. This last game against, was it Green Bay? They beat Green Bay, Denver. Uh, he looked pretty good and he's starting to look better more consistently. So, I always thought that with Denver, all you had to do was, score some points on their defense, which is really, really tough to do,
Yeah.
and you'll win because their offense can't do much. But they're starting to gel, I think. So I'm gonna and Jacksonville is a heartbreaking team for me. It really is. It's the kind of team where they look pretty good. They've done it in past years too. They start to look good, and then at the key moment, they they not that they choke, but they just can't win the big game. So I'm going to go with Denver by 5.
Okay. Okay. Mike, what do you got?
Yeah, well, yeah, and I second a lot of the same sentiments that Marcus said. But the Broncos, yeah, are 7-0 at home this year. They're at home this time, so they haven't lost yet, and that's interesting. And then the Jags are 4-2 on the road. Uh, so Jags have great defense, but I think Bo Nix, yeah, he scares me. He scares me, but he seems to be doing better. So I would go with the Broncos by 5 on this one.
And this is why I lose all the time because I'm looking at Jacksonville saying, geez, you fooled me so many times, but you really look good right now. You're on a high. If you win in Denver, you're going to be favored to go a long way. I think it's all on the line. It's a statement game for Jacksonville. I'm going to pick them by 3. And now that I picked it, you know who to choose because but I do think they're playing better. I think they are a really tough team right now. The final game we're going to talk about today, but before we do that, I just wanted to let you know lowest ticket prices are in Arizona for 12 New Orleans, $12. You can get a ticket to the New York Jets New Orleans game. $13 to get you into the Arizona game. And I was surprised to see this. $24 Los Angeles and Dallas. Come on. And the highest ticket prices are in Chicago. $424 to watch a game in Chicago right now. So there you go.
Yeah.
Even the Giants, if you're in New York right now, it's only going to cost you 26 bucks. But the final game we're going to talk about New England and Baltimore.
Yep.
And it's a big game for Baltimore, obviously. Big game for New England. They lose this one, and then Buffalo can creep right back in. What do you got, Mark?
Well, okay. I I sort of come at it from two angles. First, for New England, I was surprised that Buffalo was able to handle their defense the way they did. Now that was what you said at the outset, John. That was the game of the week. It absolutely was. Just was so much fun to watch. I'm a big Josh Allen fan. So I was surprised that Buffalo was able to score at will in the second half against that New England defense, which I thought was sort of up there with Houston and Denver. I'm not sure anymore, although they were playing against Josh Allen. So there's that. On the other hand, I watched the Baltimore game as well, and of course they won, no question about it. But one of the things I find right now, unlike Josh Allen, is Lamar Jackson's not running the way he could.
No,
He's not running very much.
no.
I think he's hurt. I think somewhere he's got something that's going on that he's hurt. On the
Yeah, he
other
had a
hand,
hamstring. He had a hamstring injury earlier this year, and he hasn't
right.
run since then.
I think that's a reality. So he's got to go up against New England, not at 100%. But did you see that pass he made to who was it? Bateman in the end zone there, over two defenders, just in Bateman's hand. It was just an unbelievable throw. It was like one of the best throws I've ever seen in football. The way he laid it in there. So all that to say, and Baltimore really needs to win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to go with my I'm going to go New England by 2. I really want to go with my heart, Baltimore, because I like
Yeah.
Baltimore, but
Yeah.
I'm going to go with New England by 2.
I think it's a good. That's a good call, Mike.
Yeah, I look at it. The Pats are 6-0 on the road. The Ravens are 3-5 at home type thing. I think Lamar is still injured. I think the Pats defense will contain him type thing. So I'm going to go with the Pats by 5. So
All right, and I agree. I think the Pats are going to win that one. Baltimore, like you said, is not the same team if Lamar can't run. And I think Mark picked it right out. If he can run, they're a totally different team, totally different offense, and they probably would be two or three wins better than they are now. So I'd say New England is a team. I will let you comment, Mark, because I know they're your love of your life here. The San Francisco at Indianapolis game, they're favored by 6. You confident about that win, Mark?
Yeah, I am. I have to say, I think the 49ers, Christian McCaffrey's not having a great year.
Yeah,
Everybody
what
talks
is,
about 49ers. They always have Christian McCaffrey. He's not having a great
no,
year.
he's
You
not.
look at the stats each week. How many 100 plus yard weeks has he had? Not very many.
No.
He really is just. I don't know what's going on with him, but maybe it's the selection of the plays, whatever. They give him the ball a lot, but I think Indianapolis. I don't actually think Indianapolis's defense is that great. I mean, they're not bad. It's not a bad defense, but I think San Francisco, because San Francisco knows. I mean, it's a key game for both of them. San Francisco is going to make the playoffs probably anyway. Indianapolis has to win this game to have any chance of making the playoffs. On the other hand, the 49ers, as I said earlier, John, the 49ers, it's almost impossible for them to win the division
Yeah.
because they got two teams ahead of them. Um, but I think, to tell you the truth, the wild card in this one is Brock Purdy's running.
Mhm.
He runs so much. He's a very intelligent runner, and they talk about his legs from time to time, but I find he runs at the key moments. So he's not Josh Allen, but he can run when it counts, and I think that's going to be the difference in this one. And I think San Francisco is going to win by 5.
Okay. What do you got, Mike? Same thing?
Yeah, the 49ers I think are going to do well. Their defense, I think everybody's figured out what Philip Rivers is going to do now, and how and where his weaknesses are. So they should be on top of him. And yeah, I would go 5-7 on that one.
If I'm San Francisco, I'm putting 8 men in the box, and I'm keying on Taylor because all he does is hand off to Taylor, and then when he has to make a throw, he throws it. Uh, Philip Rivers cannot throw the ball. He can't throw it very far, and he can't throw it with any zip. So, they just have to crowd the line of scrimmage and just key in on Taylor. They got nothing else. So, God bless Philip Rivers, though. He's a smart guy, even though he can't throw. He knows enough to hand it off to Jonathan Taylor. And
Yep.
but I think San Francisco saw the first game. I think they're ready for that. So they're going to just stop Taylor and force him to throw the ball because he can't throw. Basically, cannot throw the ball. Anyway, yeah, I got San Francisco by a lot more than 5. They're probably going to win by 13 or 20. I
Wow.
don't think this is a close game. Anyway, gentlemen, thank you very, very much. I really appreciate it. Mark, it's wonderful to have you on. I wish you a Merry Christmas. Mike, I'll see you next week. I'll be in Ottawa next week
Okay,
at this
perfect. Yeah.
time. I'm coming home for Christmas, and we'll have a lot to talk about. And then we have if you have a chance, take a look at the next week, week 17, because the games are all over the place, and we're going to have a lot to talk about. Remember, there's 2 Saturday games today this week. So you got to get these picks in. You don't want to lose out on that. Get these picks in. Actually, you should put all 3 picks in right away, and then you can put your Sunday picks in. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Anything else, Mike, you got for us?
Yeah, I just want to reinforce with everybody that you need to get your picks in on time, especially the Sundays and the Thursdays, because people come in and then they tell me about their dog needing a walk, or their butterflies, or whatever it is,
Yeah.
and don't need to hear it, don't care about it. All you need to do is get your picks in on time. If you're somebody that gets your picks on 2 minutes before the game starts and you are late, that's your problem, not mine. So please understand that. Now, I will be nice to you for Christmas, because there's going to be, I think, if I remember correctly, there's 4 games on the Thursday. I think there's 7 on the Sunday, and there's 5 on the Monday. So
Oh my
I
God.
will let you, this one time and one time only, to put in your picks before each game starts, before each day starts. So on the Monday, you'll be able to put in your picks for Monday, but this is a one-time only deal.
It's a one-time only schedule too, so you
Well,
don't get
yeah,
that too.
exactly. Yeah.
Hey, gentlemen, thank you very much. Mark, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to you, and Mike, we'll see you next week.
Next
And
week, sure.
good luck, everybody, this week.
Yeah,
Happy
absolutely.
holidays, fellas. I'll see you on
Thank you.
Same
Christmas
to
Day,
everybody.
Mike.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, cheers.